In that case, I want us to look at the foreword to this book, written by Richard Akinjide. So let's read from page 5. This is the book we are reviewing as we look back 60 years into time. Fellow Countrymen, The Story of Coup D'états in Nigeria by Richard Akinnola. I recommend this book to you. On page 5, Richard Akinjide makes this point. He says, in fact, the so-called Nigeria created in 1914 was a complete fraud. Do you agree with him?
To a large extent.
To a large extent?
Yes, because there was no consensus. Nigerians were not, or our opinions were not, our forefathers then, their opinions were not sought before Lord Lugard amalgamated North and South.
He said it was created not in the interest of Nigeria or Nigerians, but the interest of the British.
Yes.
And what were the structures created? The structures created were as follows. Northern Nigeria was to represent England. Western Nigeria like Wales. Eastern Nigeria was to be like Scotland. It's defining the United Kingdom.
Yes.
So they wanted to replicate it with Nigeria.
Yes.
He goes on to state, in the British structure, England was permanent majority in the House of Commons. There was no way Wales can ever dominate England. Neither can Scotland dominate England. But they are very shrewd. They would allow a Scottishman to become prime minister. They would allow a Welshman to become prime minister in London. But the fact remains that the actual power is rested in England. Was that the model?
Yes. According to him, that's the model. But whether that is in reality today, I wouldn't know.
Because he was a minister.
Yes.
In that first administration.
Exactly.
He was the Minister of Education.
Yes.
So that was what Lugard created in Nigeria, a permanent majority for the North. The population figure is also a fraud. Remember, one of the crises that led to the coup was census crisis.
Yes.
Now, when you were publishing this part in your book, were you not setting us out for a big problem? Because this is quite revealing.
Yes.
He said something here, the population figure is also a fraud.
Yes.
In fact, a British colonial civil servant who was involved in the fraud was trying to expose it, but he was never allowed to publish it. The analysis is as follows. If you look at the map of West Africa, starting from Mauritania to Cameroon, and take a population of each country as you move from the coast to the savannah, the population decreases. As you move from Lagos towards Kaduna, Kanu, he's saying the population ought to be decreasing. Or conversely, as you come from the desert to the coast, right from Mauritania to Cameroon, the population increases. The only exception throughout the zone is Nigeria. Nigeria is the only zone whereby you go from the coast to the north, the population increases. That means you move from Lagos to Kanu, the population increases. What point is he trying to make here?
I think it's because trying to contest the validity of the census. That the issue, because it has been quite contentious on the issue of the North having, higher population than the South. And that has been the major argument in terms of various census figures. If
you look at the land mass of Niger, you know Niger is a big country.
Yeah.
But when you look at the population, it is a small country.
It's just like Niger State. Niger State is like, it's as big as about 4 different states in Nigeria. Very large mass, land mass. But the population is not as large as the landmass.
So Akinjide is questioning the population figure of the north.
Yes.
That a place like Sokoto, those zones should not have large population.
Precisely.
Because if you go to Mali has a large landmass.
I think that was the challenge that led to Tinubu, when he was governor of Lagos, setting up local government development authorities, because officially Lagos has 20 local governments, despite the fact that the population today now will be over 20 million. But I think Kano should have almost double of that number of local governments, and local governments are based on census figures. So I think that's what Akinjide was trying to bring out here.
So the point he's saying here, that even the population of Kano is not a realistic figure.
Yes.
That the population of the north is not a realistic figure.
Although Kano is it's a large population, because before it used to be Kano Jigawa.
Yeah.
Before the creation of Jigawa State. But I'm just using the number of local governments in Kano as an example, or even in some other states. And there are so many states, even in the north, that they have more local governments than Lagos. Lagos officially has 20 before the creation of the local government development authorities. So I think, which is based on census figures.
So the census crisis of the 1960s,
yes,
are even the point Akinjide is analyzing here.
Precisely.
Because at some point it was a struggle.
Yes.
The first one came, the South had more population.
Yes.
They said no, they not rejected it.
Yes.
And when the second one came, that same trouble.
I doubt if there will be any census figure that will be totally acceptable, no matter who is going to superintend over the census.
And it seems every president is scared of even embarking on a census.
Buhari tried it. It was a hot potato. He dropped it. Then I'm not sure Tinubu is ready for it. Maybe
it's only Obasanjo that dared.
Yes.
But it was controversial.
It was controversial.
With Tinubu there.
And again, Tinubu was fast, was very clever when Obasanjo did his own. You know, Lagos State did its own too at the same time.
Yeah.
So, okay, that we want to know how many people are actually in Lagos, so that in case there's going to be any controversy tomorrow, and in terms of planning, it makes easier for planning. So he did a good thing that time by, even when Obasanjo was doing his own, he too was doing his own census for Lagos.
Do we need to get the census figures right?
Precisely. We can't run away from it, because we can't plan without census.
Because sometimes you see 70 million names in the voter register.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you are having about 40% voting.
Yeah, well, that could be attributable to sometimes voter apathy. Sometimes people have traveled, because some registered in Lagos, for example, or some went home to register, and at the time of the election, they are not at home to vote. So that one is there. And of course, don't forget that I think during Jega as INEC chairman, there are some names you see, even foreign names, foreign footballers' names as voters. So all manner of silly things happening during the voter registration.
That means we've not been able to get census right from independence.
Yes. No, absolutely no.
We have not been able to solve that problem.
It's a major problem that we have not been able to solve.
How come we can't solve a simple problem of counting?
Because it's political. And it takes a strong leader to actually hold the bulls by the horn and say, I will do this thing, and I will, whatever happens. Because every president now is trying to be political. Now, there's no way Tinubu can do before next year's election, because election is coming. And of course, it's an exercise with humongous amount of money involved. We're talking about multi-billions for a country that is indebted, indebted to trillions. So where will the money come from?
Another point Akinjide makes here is quite interesting. He said, I entered parliament on December 12, 1959. When the North formed a political party, the Northern leaders called it Northern People's Congress, NPC. They didn't call it Nigeria's People Congress. That was in accordance with the dictum and policies of Lugard. When Aminu Kanu formed his own party, it was called Northern Elements Progressive Union, NEPU, not Nigerian Elements Progressive Union. It was only Awolowo and Zik who were mistaken that there was anything called Nigeria. How would Akinjide say that? Because we are looking at the background to the coup.
Yes.
He said Awolowo and Zik were mistaken. So perhaps to your tent, O Israel, is that a point he is making?
Yes, but don't forget that Akinjide too had always worked closely with the North. So there's a contradiction in what he's saying.
Because he was a minister in that government.
Well, minister in that government.
But he was not a member of NPC.
No, he wasn't. But don't forget that, I mean, whatever party Akinjide belonged to usually had, usually leaned toward the North. Both in the First Republic and the Second Republic. It was also Attorney General under Shagari's government, NPN government.
Yeah.
So he has always leaned toward the North. So there seems to be a contradiction in some of his position, because an average person will say, okay, well, you came to propound the 12 to 12 theory to give Shagari victory over Awolowo. But he can come and say, well, I'm a lawyer. I'm the lawyer to Shagari, and I had to propound that theory for us to win. But to an average Yoruba person, say, no, you denied Yoruba person victory in that election. So, and they will see him as, in quotes, a puppet of the North. So, to an average Yoruba person, they see Akinjide as part of Northern oligarchy.
He was a member of the NPN.
NPN, yes.
He even ran for the office of governor for your state in 1979. But I get defeated.
Yes. So he has always had that kind of a relationship with the North.
But he made all this statement after this period. But
yes.
Perhaps he has reflected. He had reflected.
Perhaps.
And now said, okay, I was wrong. Because this speech was made during the launching of your book.
In the year 2000.
By this time, Akinjide has stopped being the Attorney General.
Yes.
He has stopped being the Minister of Education. He has seen a lot.
I tried to get certain information from him, and he said, Richard, I will not tell you. Say, I would rather there's some information that will die with me.
Why do they always like dying with information?
I wonder.
Are there informations you want to die with too?
Well, except if it's personal to some certain people. As close as I was to Ganefar Himi, there's certain things I can't say about Ganefar Himi in the public. Because of our relationship.
So Akinjide might be right, because he had access to security information.
Yeah, but that wasn't a private matter. That was because he got that information by virtue of his position as a minister in the government. So you cannot deny us that kind of crucial information. It's not a private family matter.
But remember, some of this information are still classified.
I'm sure by now they would have declassified